doing here? Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of our reviewing here, a podcast where I, Matthew Bussey, watch and review sight and sound's top greatest movies of all time. I am over the moon today, so I've been doing this podcast for, technically a year. I know I took a bunch of months off, but I've never had a special guest, and I finally have a special frickin' guest, my first guest ever. We will go over how we met, because it's so weird and ridiculous, and, it would only happen to me, but friends, listeners, even people who I don't like, who may not like me, who are listening right now, but I don't know why you're listening to begin with. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Margaret Picklechips! Hi, darling! Hi, how are you? I am well, how are you? I'm great. Well, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much. Oh my god. I have not been on a podcast, and I'm so sorry. You know, the way British people say podcast, does it make you laugh? No, not really. I think it's kind of cute. Okay, good. I mean, well, actually, I have a question for you, Margaret. Does it get annoying when, Americans are so obnoxious and, they make fun of British people and British accents all the time? Do you ever get annoyed by it? No, not really. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit sexy. I mean, I've been on many, many dates in my life. I mean, I'm 36 years old. Excuse me. I had a tickle in my throat. And what was I saying? Oh, yes, a lot of men have asked me out on dates, and a lot of American men, that is, have asked me out on dates because they like my accent, so I don't know, I kind of like it. Yeah, that's good. I mean, is there, one thing that Americans do that, annoy the crap out of you, though? Do they make fun of, is there something that they make fun of with British people, yeah, that, really, strikes a nerve with you? I mean, it's not really a joke, but I think the one thing that I can't bloody stand is when you guys say, oh god, I can't even say it. Aluminum. Aluminum? Yes, it's aluminium. Oh, right, yeah. Yes, don't you know that, darling? I mean, you're half British yourself. I know I'm half British, yeah, but I don't know everything. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding with you. I know. Oh my god. Well, Margaret, I brought you on this episode because this is a British movie that we're reviewing today, and I love British movies so much, and, I'm it's kind of a cliche, but I figured, well, let me get a British a guest for my, first special guest interview, why not? Yes, no, good idea. And you know what, it's a good pick too. I really like this film a lot. I really, really do. That's great. Well, okay, before we get into that though, let's talk about how we, oh god, I'm gonna start laughing, how we met. Oh god, I'm gonna start laughing too. Do you want to tell it? No, you tell it. Oh no. Oh please, you tell. Okay, I'll tell it. Yes. No, I can't. Oh, God, Matt. All right. Okay, so, listeners listening right now, Matthew Bussey found me on Craigslist. I know, it's true. Now, look, before you make any judgment about him, no, first of all, I'm not a hooker, a prostitute. I don't do that anymore, and I have a lot of pets. I love animals, and Okay. You know what, Margaret? Let me explain this. Yes. Okay. I was on Craigslist. Yes. No, you explain it because I don't want to make you look bad and lose followers on this amazing podcast that you have. Yes. Thank you. And we'll talk about your podcast too in a few. But I found Margaret. I was on Craigslist. I love, I've spoken ad nauseum about my fascination with animals, and in particular animal attacks. So I was on Craigslist, and I like to go on pets for sale in Craigslist, and I found Margaret in the pet section. She was in Chicago. Was it Chicago? Yes, it was. It was Chicago. I'm not there anymore now. I live in New York City right now. But yes. No, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, no, of course. So, I mean, it was, yeah, I found you, and tell everybody what pet you have right now that you wanted to give up. Oh, God. Well, okay, it was a pygmy marmoset. A pygmy marmoset. I know. I'm not judging you. Explain it, though. I know. Okay, so yes, I do. Like I said, I love animals, and I met a guy one time at his place, and he had this pet pygmy marmoset. And for those of you who don't know, a pygmy marmoset is a type of monkey, but it's more like a rat. And it's fucking awful, you know, because it bites, too. Do you know what they are, Matt? Yeah, I do. Yeah, at the Philadelphia Zoo, they have pygmy marmosets. And they actually have a big warning that says, don't touch them. So I'm not calling you dumb, but no, I know, I'm not, well, I am dumb. I'm not the smartest person, but basically we broke up. He was cheating on me with oh my God, she was like 60 years old. I mean, I can't bloody believe it. But anyway, we broke up, and he came to my place, and he basically was like, oh, you bitch, I don't want to be with you anymore. And here, take the bloody pygmy marmoset here. I hope it bites you and kills you and gives you rabies and, you know, all that shit. And I took it because, you know, I didn't want to die that day. But I was like, well, I don't want to die, you know, from a little rabid monkey. It could have rabies, you know, I don't really know. But yes, so I put it on Craigslist, and that's how you found me. And you reached out. And can I tell you what you asked me first? Oh God, I don't know if I remember what I asked you. What did I ask you? Oh God. The first thing Matt emailed me was, "Are you serious?" I know. Okay, but I know this is not an animal podcast. It's a movie podcast. So, you know, I will just end by saying this. I did sell the pygmy marmoset. I sold it to a very nice family from Enfield, London. Okay, oh God, I hope the airline isn't listening to this, but I actually snuck the pygmy marmoset in my bag, in my carry-on, and brought it on the bloody plane. Can you believe that? Shut up. You did not do that. Yes, I did. No one caught me. But, you know, I have a lot of other, you know, things on my records. So, you know, I don't know if they would, you know, arrest me for this. But the pygmy marmoset is it's with a nice family now in Enfield. So, you know, we can sweep this under the rug and, you know, yeah. No, well, look, there's no judgment at all. I love monkeys. I don't really like pygmy marmosets. They kind of scare me, and they do kind of look like rats, but you know, really, really quickly too, because I know this is going to be a little longer of an episode, but tell me a little bit about your life and your podcast, because I want more people here in America to know it. Yes, of course. So my podcast, it's called Pickles and Chips with Margaret. I know it's not an original title, but, you know, with my last name, there's only so much I can only do so much with my last name. And, you know, I have to tell you too, my last name is not my real name. Really? Yes. Wait, you didn't tell me this. What is your real last name? Oh God, I just went British too. Did you hear that? I know, it's contagious, I know. Well, you're going to laugh, but my maiden name it's not pronounced like this, but it's spelled like this. It's Htit. Hit? Yes, it's hit. Yes. So, I mean, my mother, I have 6 different siblings, and they're all half siblings. My mother got around a lot. She recently passed away, but yes, she got around a lot. She had a lot of different husbands, and so she, you know, her original, that, you know, my birth father, I never met him. My mother told me that he did get arrested much later, when I was, I think, 14, for solicitation. But oh God, I'm so sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry. And if this is too honest, you know, you can cut this out. Oh God, sorry, darling. I need to get some water. Oh no, it's okay. Take your time. Oh God, okay. Yes, so my name, so Pickle Chips. I created this name for myself because I love pickles and I love chips. I know that these aren't like potato chips, like what you call them in America, but these are French fries. So, you know, I like them a lot. And I remember there was one time many years ago, I saw Natalie Portman on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and she was pregnant. And she said, you know, oh God, I don't know if I can do an American accent. She said, well, I'm pregnant and I want, you know, pickles and French fries all the time. And so Ellen brought them out for her. And that was just such an inspiration for me because, you see, I love Black Swan. That is like one of my favorite movies. So long story short, oh my God, cut many years later. after my mother's passing, I decided to make a podcast, kind of like you. I think that's why, you and I are kind of like kindred spirits because, kindred spirits. Shut up. No, I'm being serious. Kindred spirits. I really, really do. Because my podcast, it's just a very standard movie review podcast. I particularly only review the latest British movies, but I occasionally will dive into different nationalities and international films. So that is how I came up with this podcast. And yes, it is one episode every Friday. And yes, you can also find me on Instagram. My name is Pickles and Chips. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. And no joking about my former last name, Hatit, okay? It is Gaelic, okay? That's all I know about it. And, well, I mean, no offense, Matt, but, like, do you get made fun of your last name all the time? Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, do you find it annoying? Yes, I do. I do. Like, I literally... oh, God, well, let's not talk about it. Oh, no, I'm not mad. I'm just saying that, yeah. It's like, it's weird too. Like, I have a gay friend who, like, a few months told me, he was like, Matt, it's actually not like a joke anymore. Like, in the gay community, like, bussy, they don't really say that anymore. That's kind of like a one and done joke. And yeah. Oh, God. Well, that's good, at least. Yeah, it is. But anyway, well, look, thank you for that. I know that, you are very, I say this as a compliment. You are a very strange lady. Thank you, love. I know, and I think one other thing too that people may hear may understand when they listen to this is that we do sound very alike, and I'm telling you right now that I know we sound alike, but we don't look alike at all. You can find you do occasionally post pictures of yourself on your Instagram. I mean, so we don't look alike, and I know we sound alike, but we are not the same person. Okay, people. Yes, come on, everybody. I mean, get a fucking clue here. I mean, sorry, my edible's kicking in. I'm so sorry. You took an edible before this? Yes, I did. I told you that on the phone. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my mind too. I forget things very easily. But okay, let's get talking about the movie, shall we? Yes, let's. Yes. So can I introduce it? Because I love when you do this. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so today, Matthew and I are going to talk about a very famous, gorgeously shot film by Jean Renoir. It is called The River.
This theater has the rare honor of presenting as a coming attraction Jean Renoir's masterpiece, The River. For those of you who have been asking for something new and different in entertainment, for all of you who enjoy only the finest in motion pictures, The River is especially for you. Jean Renoir's The River, a story of true greatness told against the brilliant background of India, a story of people who live beside the river, into whose peaceful lives comes a young American, a story of young love and its struggle for understanding that brings it from childhood to maturity.
Having a baby hurts you terribly.
No more than it ought. Come here. Having children for the man you love is a precious, sanctified work. It's the meaning of a woman.
The story of an Indian girl's right to belong to the world of her choice.
It's a puzzle. I don't know where you belong. Sometimes I think I've put you in a frightful position. Perhaps you never should have been born.
But I am born. Someday I shall find out where I belong.
A story about you, about everyone who has ever been ecstatically, impetuously, irresistibly in love. About Captain John, who found in Valerie the clover-fresh sweetness of young love. Who found in Melanie all that is mysterious in woman.
Melanie, what do we do?
Consent.
To what?
To everything.
And in Harriet, he found the dawn of emotion.
Captain John, I love you.
The rare beauty of this unusual picture, its deep emotion, its breathtaking spectacle are difficult to express, either in brief scenes or in a few words. It must be seen, to be felt and cherished.
I just love trailers so much. Do you? Yeah, I do. I mean, like, they're all, like, the exact same. Like, I feel like the music and, like, the speakers, you know, or the, you know, the, what is that? Voice talent. You know, the people that, oh my God, what is the freaking word? No, I know what you mean. You know, like the narrator and narrator. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, I'm moving in my chair. I have a squeaky chair here. That's all right, darling. Yeah. I have a squeaky chair too. Yeah. Wait, should we do it at the same time? Do what? Squeak our chairs? Yes, let's. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can't hear yours. Oh, it's on silent mode, I guess. But no, okay. So had you seen this movie before? No, I hadn't. So yeah, The River, this is a movie by a director named Jean Renoir. Jean Renoir was the son of Pierre-Auguste Renoir, the famous, very famous French Impressionist painter. He did the most famous painting he did was Dance at the Le Moulin de la Galette. Am I saying that right? Oh, don't ask me, darling. I don't speak French. Oh, I forgot you don't. I'm sorry. Yeah. No. It's all right. No, because I know that, you know, you love French in this film, but on this podcast, I mean. But yes, I was familiar with that, and I love Pierre-Auguste Renoir. Oh God, I can't even say it. No, you said it right. Yeah, no, but Jean Renoir, he was the son of him, and he is most famous. He was a French guy, of course. He is most famous for directing 2 films from the 30s, Grand Illusion and The Rules of the Game, 1937 and 1939, and they're considered to be 2 of the greatest films of all time. Have you seen them? No, I haven't. Well, they're really good. You see, Grand Illusion, I didn't really love it, and I know it's on this list, so I'm looking forward to watching it again. But The Rules of the Game is a great movie because it basically is a very satirical film that makes fun of French, you know, like the French upper class and you know, rich French people, basically, you know, and it was controversial when it came out. People didn't like it. France didn't like it. But The River, this is a little different. So this is based on a book by Rumer Godden. Yes, she was British. Yes, and she also wrote the book, and I'm certain that you've watched the movie already, Black Narcissus. Yes! Oh my God, I cannot wait to review that movie on this. That movie is batshit. Have you seen it? Yes, a long time ago, yes, but I do. It kind of, like, gave me nightmares. Yeah, it gave me nightmares, too. It's like a horror movie. It's freaking terrifying. Yeah, so Rumer Godden, she wrote this book called The River, and then Jean Renoir adapted it, wrote the screenplay and everything. And this is, I believe this is, yeah, it is. It's his first Technicolor film. It's essentially like a coming-of-age story. There's a little bit of romance in it, but it's a very, very, like, properly British film. Like, do you agree? Yes, I do agree. I do. And, you know, I think, you know, the special thing about this movie, for me, is, you know, it's gorgeously shot. I mean, that is why I loved it. It's very, very, well, you know, amazingly shot. And it was shot on location in Calcutta, India. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's obvious. And, like, they say that in the beginning of the movie, too. Like, the narrator, or not the narrator, they even, like, they have, like, you know, like credits, yeah, like you know, yes, of course, yeah, like they have little oh my God, like signs that come. See, I told you, Matt. Well, kindred spirits. We both have, you know, oh God, I can't even think of the fucking disease right now. What's it called? And I'm so sorry if I cuss too. Do you cuss on this podcast? Yeah, I do occasionally. Fuck, shit. Just kidding. No, I'm thrilled. I love to curse. But yeah, I mean, I think that's why this movie is, I think what is special about this, I haven't even said it yet. It's a very unpredictable movie. Would you agree? Yeah, I do agree, you know, and like, I'm going to go over what happens in this film, but it doesn't really end in a very Hollywood predictable way. You know, it doesn't. It's also just a very beautiful film, not just beautifully shot, but I think it's just a very nice coming of age film. I mean, it's just sweet. It's very, very sweet. It's very nostalgic. I don't know. I mean, I'm certain that when this came out, a lot of British people must have loved it. You know, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I would think so. I don't think that my mother saw this, but I do remember one of her boyfriends. I think it was boyfriend number, oh God, it must have been like boyfriend number 37 or something. I mean, he did have this on the telly one time. And I walked in and I remember being very mesmerized by the colors in the film. And yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. And also the color, speaking of the colors, the cinematography was by Claude Renoir, who was related to Jean Renoir. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He was the nephew of Jean Renoir. So basically, if your last name is Renoir, you know that you are an artist and you are hot. Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah, so I like this movie a lot. You know, I think when I first watched it, I was a little bit... This is like, you know, the difficult thing, and I'm a hypocrite when I say this too, because I always end this podcast by saying, don't stream, go to the movies and watch it on the big screen. But, you know, this was not on the big screen. This was on my TV, and I can just imagine watching this on the big screen, how much more effective it should be, you know, because when it didn't really hit me emotionally the first time, because it's just hard. I mean, I'm watching it on my TV, and you can't connect as much with the characters in this film when, you know, it's like that. So I don't know. No, I agree with you completely. I do. But no, I love this movie though. I really, really did. And I really hope that, you know, hopefully with this podcast, more people can, you know, get to see it. Yeah. So should we get into the plot? Yes, let's. Plot synopsis. We are going to share reading this plot synopsis because the plot synopsis is from Wikipedia. I know, you're so cute for doing that too. Am I really, or am I just lazy? Well, you're a little bit lazy too, but no, it's fine. I think it's fine. Let's go. I'm excited for this. All right, so are you ready? I'll read, let's do 2 on 2, okay? 2 paragraphs on 2 paragraphs. Okay, got it. Harriet, played by this actress named Patricia Walters, is a teenage girl who belongs to an upper-middle-class English family residing on the banks of the Ganges River in British India. Remember, this is, you know, before India was India, the British owned it. Her father, played by this man named Esmond Knight. I didn't know anyone in this movie. No, neither did I, honestly. Yeah. Her father, played by Esmond Knight, runs a jute mill, and she has 4 sisters and 1 brother, all several years younger than her. A jute mill is kind of like a material. I don't know. It's not really important. They are raised in a genteel English setting. I hope I'm saying that right. And even have the benefit of live-in Indian employees, such as the nanny. So the nanny is like family to them. Like they're all very close. The normal order of Harriet's life is shaken when the family's neighbor invites his cousin, Captain John, to live with him on his plantation. Captain John is played by this man named Thomas E. Breen, who, oh boy, we'll get to him later. When Captain John arrives, the children discover he has lost 1 leg in the war. Harriet, her sisters, and Harriet's best friend Valerie, played by Adrienne Corey, are all smitten with him and therefore invite him to a WWII celebration. Oh, I love that holiday. Sorry, continue. No, I love it too. I don't really know what it is, but I just love it. I love the colors. I love Indian culture so much. I think it's so cool. Harriet also gains the courage to show him her, quote, secret book, her diary. He politely acquiesces in a non-romantic way. Later, oh God, this is scary. Later, eager to impress upon her familiarity with Hindu religion, or perhaps to divert his attention from Valerie, Harriet tells him a marriage story where mundane identities of ordinary peasants are subject to divine change and transformation. In this tale, Lord Krishna intervenes in a wedding ceremony to assume the identity of the groom, and the bride is temporarily transformed into Krishna's consort. Ooh, excuse me. This was a beautiful moment. And I don't like this part of the description because they don't really introduce this character in a good way, in an organic way. There follows an extended dance sequence with Radha Bernier performing as Krishna's consort. After Harriet's story, Valerie steals the diary and reads lovelorn passages of it aloud in front of Captain John, embarrassing Harriet greatly. So Radha Bernier, can I explain who she is? Yeah, she plays Melanie. Melanie is the daughter, she's the biracial daughter of, oh God, what the bloody hell's his name? Thomas E. Breen's, Captain John. She's the daughter of Captain John's cousin. So they are cousins, essentially. Melanie and Captain John are, half cousins, and we'll get to, winky wink. Oh God, I just said what you said, Matt, winky wink. Don't you say that a lot? Yeah, I do sometimes. Sorry, my voice just got high. No, it's all good. So okay. Harriet's brother, oh, this was so sad, developed an obsession with cobras after watching a snake charmer one day in the market. Happening across the boy playing a flute to a cobra in their garden one day, Harriet commands him to inform their parents of the dangerous snake's presence. She does not tell them herself after becoming distracted by an opportunity to eavesdrop on Captain John and Valerie. Harriet follows them to a point on the river bank where, believing they are alone, Captain John trades a passionate kiss with Valerie. Oh god, this kiss was bonkers! Yeah, it was so bad. The kissing in all these old movies, oh my god, I have to like turn away. This kiss was so friggin' awful. I could not watch it. No, neither could I. Anyway, Harriet's brother's body, so John kisses Valerie, and then Valerie basically says, I'm sad, because you're going to leave soon, and I don't think that this can go anywhere. And there's also a moment earlier on where the description doesn't include this, but John and Valerie are kind of like playing catch, and John trips and, is very embarrassed and is very cold towards Valerie and kind of tells her to go away. Yeah, that scene was really rough. Yeah, because John is just, he's a good man, and you understand why he is cold, because he's just so unhappy to have one leg. I mean, I'd be unhappy too. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. I know it is. Anyway, so that happens, and then, oh god, Harriet's brother's body is found soon after, killed by the cobra. Overcome with jealousy and racked with guilt over the boy's death, Harriet loses the will to live. Yeah, it's a really sad scene. It's a really unexpected scene, too. Kind of. I mean, he is playing with cobras. Do not play with cobras. She runs away. So Harriet runs away from home that night and attempts to commit suicide by floating down the river in an unattended canoe-like skiff, the river being dangerous to navigate at night due to strong currents. However, her late brother's friend Kanu sees her steal the boat, and local fishermen rescue her from the water. Ashore, she refuses transport back to her family. Captain John, sent by Kanu, arrives, eases her mind, and kisses her on the forehead to her delight. She then allows him to take her home. Oh, that's cute. It is revealed subsequently that Captain John, and we see this, in the movie, he has an interest in Melanie, the daughter, the biracial Indian woman of John's cousin. And she's, they're kind of close in age. And also their mother is no longer alive. Oh, right. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, so Melanie's mother is no longer alive, and Melanie and John have this strong connection because they both basically are not happy with their lives. Melanie does not like being biracial, and John does not like having one leg. So they kind of, there is a little bit of tension there, sexual tension, but they don't kiss. Captain John and Melanie compare their experiences struggling with wartime injury and being biracial respectfully. The story ends with Harriet's mother giving birth to another baby girl. Prevented from entering the room just after labor is completed, Harriet, Valerie, and Melanie pause for a moment in front of the river to reflect on the cycles of life and death that take place on its bank. The end.
And her eyes, she says to him, "O Krishna, you are as beautiful as a monsoon cloud. Your eyes are like the lotus in bloom, O Krishna. I want to be always in your presence, O Krishna."
a great movie. I thought it was a great movie. This really was a fantastically made movie. And I think the best thing about it, the cinematography is great and all of that. But I really like by the end, the theme of the movie, which is that, or the message of the movie that is, which is that life goes on, Like, life goes on. Like, life can get so crappy, but it does just go on. I mean, do you agree? No, I do wholeheartedly. I mean, I think that is what is so appealing about this movie is that, I mean, it's a great coming-of-age story. We were all, well, not you, but, we were all little girls at some point. And we've all, felt like we're so tired of being told that we're not adults. And, we can't go and be with older men or go and do adult things. It is very sad. You understand why Harriet, doesn't come off as annoying in this movie. She just comes off as a teenager, I mean, she's tired of being told, you're too little to do that. So that's obviously, the most appealing thing about this film for me. But I think also, yes, in a way, yes, it is a movie about how life goes on. I think that is kind of like what I was saying earlier. This doesn't really have a predictable ending. I was first expecting, when I first saw this, I was expecting John to, end up with Melanie or end up with Valerie, And I also, what I love was that he does not feel, there's no creepy attraction towards Harriet because she's way too little. And, I don't know, we see a lot of old movies where, there is a little bit of a very uncomfortable situationship, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, no, I do. And I agree, too. I liked how John was not creepy in this movie. John, and he's played very well by Thomas E. Breen. He's a handsome guy, but, there is this sadness just in his eyes. You can just see it. And I do agree with you. I think what is really good about this film is how it avoids the narrative pitfalls of let's make this a very happy ending, and I'm seeing that a lot in these movies. I'm seeing why critics like movies like this so much, because it doesn't have your traditional ending, and I feel like, we're lingering on this topic a lot of the end, it's all about the end, but it is really a great thing. It's a memorable thing about this film. I mean, this movie was distributed by United Artists, and it had a big release, and it doesn't have a big, happy Hollywood ending. I mean, it kind of does. The mother gives birth. That is, that also is obviously a metaphor for, the spinning life and death, yin and yang. No, that's not what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, like life and death, it spins, like that symbol. I mean, no, I know what you mean. Yes, that symbol. I forget what the word is too, off the top of my head. But no, I do agree with that. I mean, no, exactly. Death is also, a theme of this film. I mean, it's so tragic what happens to Harriet's little brother in this film. But, where there is death, there is life. Where there is sadness, there is hope. I think that is what is the most powerful thing about this movie. Not to mention, not just the cinematography, but I think just the way it depicts Indian culture is so gorgeous, I mean, I talked about the Krishna sequence, but there are so many other shots in this film that just present Indian culture in such a lovely way. I mean, I love India. I've never been there. Have you been there? No, I haven't been there. I might go next year. Really? Yeah, I think I might go. Oh my God. I went there many, many, many years ago. I think I was like 5 years old. It was very dirty there, but I remember the food was gorgeous. And gorgeous. I keep saying gorgeous. I'm so sorry. No, that food is really gorgeous. I'm eating a gorgeous chicken. I guess, Americans kind of say that. No. I'm being silly. No. Yes, I think, that is, oh, fuck me, I forgot what I was going to say. No, you're good. I think, we both have obviously, we both like this movie a lot, which is great. Yes, indeed. BTS Secrets and Scandals! Margaret, yes? Are you ready for some BTS Secrets and Scandals of the River? Yes, I am. This is my favorite topic. Oh, great. I don't really know why I call it Secrets and Scandals, but, because trivia is just like such a lame word, and like everybody uses that word when describing these films, and I don't know. No, don't be so hard on yourself. I totally agree with you. I think it's good. Okay, so I did say thank you. So two things. Obviously, this was filmed right in India, in Calcutta. That's very, very obvious. And I did say that this was Renoir's first film in color. And the movie, you guessed it, premiered at the Venice International Film Festival. Everything premiered there. Everything premiered at that festival. I know. I love that. I went to that festival a few years ago, and I don't really remember it. I just got very shit-faced. But it's gorgeous there. Oh, God, I'm saying it again. I'm not going to get that word out of my head for the rest of the day. You know that, right? I know. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. It's cute. So, excuse me. There's a lot of, like, life imitating art, or art imitating life, whatever, yin and yang, whatever, in this film. So that characters who play the mother and father, they don't even have names in the movie, but they were, Esmond Knight is the father, and the wife, the mother was played by a woman named Nora Swinburne, and they were married in real life. And Esmond Knight, I did not know this, I wasn't looking carefully, he was one-eyed. He lost his eye in the war during the battle to sink the Bismarck. I don't really know that. Did you know that he had one eye? I did. Upon first watching the movie, I was a little bit confused as to why. I think it was his left eye doesn't really blink or anything, or kind of move. And then I just Googled it, and yes, he was one-eyed. But I was surprised because I thought, call me stupid, but I thought that back in the day, like, fake eyes like that didn't exist, I thought that they had to wear eye patches, like pirates do, like Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Yeah, I agree. I felt the same way. I think that's why I was confused. I just didn't know that he had one eye. I did not know that. Yeah, weird. Yeah. And even further, Tommy C. Breen really was missing one leg, like Captain John in the movie. Now that's, I did not know. That, I need to read more about, did you find more information about, his fake leg, and if it was just like a little, Terminator machine, or was it, like an actual prosthetic leg? Because I could not bloody tell it apart if it was real or not. No, I didn't know either. I couldn't find out. Because, yeah, you can't tell that he's not missing a leg. I mean, he's wearing pants the entire movie, but obviously, like, I kept, like, looking, like, when he sits down, like, his pant kind of comes up on his, legs, and you can see him wearing socks, and I was kind of, like, looking closer, like, where's the fake leg? I don't see the fake leg, but, no, I didn't know, if it was, like, I didn't know, I get what you mean, if it was, like, a metal thing, or if it was an actual prosthetic, but whatever it was, it looked really realistic. I did not know. All I know is that Breen had to have his leg amputated after, quote, a combat injury on Guam during the Second World War. So the Second World War had, like, just ended 6 years before this movie came out, so, yeah, crazy. Oh my God, trivia. I love trivia. I know, I do too. Now, I do have to get into kind of some dark territory here, because there's always dark territory in trivia at some point. So, Thomas C. Breen was the son of Joseph Breen. Joseph Breen was born in Philadelphia and attended St. Joseph's University, right here in Philly. Oh my God, really? Yes, he did. Now, okay, Joseph Breen, he's a Philly guy. Cool. Sounds like a cool guy. People are cool in Philly. Joseph Breen was responsible for applying the Hays Code to films with it's now the MPA, I think. It used to be MPAA, then it's now MPA, and it used to be MPPDA, which is the Motion Picture Producers and Distributors of America, now known as the Motion Picture Association. Yeah, so the MPA, I keep calling it the MPAA, the rating system. He was responsible for applying the Hays Code. The Hays Code was basically, one of the earliest examples of adding restrictions to films, and so he's responsible for that. Now, my notes here were really, are you ready for this? Oh God, you're scaring me. What's wrong with him? Well, Joseph Breen was not a good guy. He was an anti-Semitic, quote, piece of shit who once said 95% of these folks are Jews of an Eastern European lineage. They are probably the scum of the earth. And he, like, loved the Nazis. He was, like, friends with the U.S. Nazi representative during the war. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. Oh my God, what a boss. What's wrong with people? I know. It's a lot of anti-Semitism back in the day. I don't know. I mean, I hope Thomas Sebreen, his son, was not this way, but couldn't really find a lot of information about this guy. Oh my God, what a sack of shit. I know. Oh God. It's sad. Well, a little palate cleanser, a little humor here. Jean Renoir, the director, was completely unaware that Thomas was the son of Joseph, so he didn't even know this. Jean Renoir also originally wanted Marlon Brando to play Captain John. I think that would have been a really good pick. Do you? No, I do. What was that noise? Oh, that was my dog. I'm sorry. She wants to go out. Oh, Pookie? What's the name? Frankie. Oh, Frankie. I was close. Yeah, I agree there. I mean, Marlon Brando was such a, what's the word? Method actor. And I don't know. I like how in this movie the actors are all very unknown. Yeah, I like that decision. I do. I like Marlon Brando's filmography. I really, really do. I think it's perfect just as it is. Yeah, I agree. A little kind of gross fact, but for the kissing scene that you and I love so much, just kidding, Adrian Corey reportedly had to do 50 takes in temperatures of 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, God! I know, it's so gross. Oh, kissing in the heat like that? I can now, like, oh, God. I know what you mean. Like, in rewatching it now, I can see why it is such a terrible kiss, because, I mean, I can't even imagine. Would you rather kiss in the freezing cold or the burning heat? Oh God, neither. I guess the heat is like a little, I could maybe handle the heat a bit more. No, I can't, because like sweat getting in your mouth. Oh God, I can't even do that. Yeah, I can't either. I mean, I think I might do, I can't pick either. Oh, I'm sorry I asked that. It's okay. Anyway, the last kind of cool fact. So there is a director named Satyajit Ray. He is a very famous Indian director. Wes Anderson is kind of like a big, he's kind of like inspired by Satyajit Ray. There are some more Indian movies coming up that I'm going to review, and I can see a lot of Wes Anderson-ness in those films. But Satyajit Ray was an assistant on this film. He wasn't known yet. He was a nobody. He was working in advertising at the time and studying film, and he and Jean Renoir became good friends. And this film basically launched Ray's career as the one and only Satyajit Ray. I also just love that name. I hope I'm saying it right. No, I think you are. I haven't seen his films, but I do. I've heard of him before. I love Indian films too. I can't even like remember the last Indian film I saw. I mean, this is technically an Indian film, but, you know, a film where it's totally spoken in, you know, Bengali or Hindu or whatever. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I just love when British people say R. Shut up, it's not fun. It's a great movie. I know, I can't help it. Triple R. We'll call it Triple R. The best moment. I'll let you go first. What was your favorite moment in the movie? Oh, man. Well, probably the scene where, you know, John confronts Harriet when she's so distraught, and, you know, it's a very sweet moment. And that's kind of like I said before, I love how there's no creepy relationship kind of, you know, romantic anything to their relationship. I found this to be a very beautiful moment because, you know, it's kind of him letting her know that, you know, she's just a girl and she has many more years to grow up, and he's not the one for her, but it's okay. And also, you know, he's obviously telling her that her brother's death was not her fault. And I don't know. I mean, to let your brother play with the Cobras a little, you know, it's kind of like rubbish, but whatever. What about you? No, it is rubbish. It is. I mean, well, she's a girl, whatever. She, you know, made a mistake. I love that scene too, and that was a really beautiful moment. There's one little short sequence in this film where Renoir just moves his camera slowly to each of the characters while they're sleeping, like in daylight, like all the brother and the little sisters and the mother and the nanny, and they're all just sleeping. And do you know that scene? Yes, I do. I think I do. Wait, tell me more about it. Well, nothing really happens. It's just a shot where he just zooms in slowly, and, you know, you hear like nature in the background, you know, like nature is like a big part in this film. And I just, that shot really stuck with me. Oh, I think I know. It's right before the brother dies by the snake, I think. Yeah. No, I agree. And nature really is a big part in this movie. I mean, like, there's the other moment where, you know, John and Valerie are talking, and you just see these, like, moths and these flies just everywhere, you know, landing on their shoulders and their chests and everything. And yeah, it really is something, this movie. I really, really loved it. Mais est-ce que je suis d'accord avec les critiques de ce film? Are you ready, Margaret? Or do you agree with what the critics have to say about this movie? So we're going to do this a little differently. I'm going to read some critic reviews, and you're going to say if you agree or not. Okay. I hope that they're all good, excuse me. I mean, if they're not good, then I'm not going to agree. Don't worry. They're good. They're good. Yeah, don't worry. Okay. Critics, reviews, do we, aka does Margaret, agree with what they have to say? Nicholas Bell from IonCinema.com said the river is indeed sumptuously photographed, but its rendering, a visually evocative portrayal of the circle of life as evidenced by the experiences of three young women, is often too simplistic in other regards. Yes, it's a little simplistic. I mean, the story is a little bit simplistic, but, okay, I can kind of agree. What was his name? George? No, Nicholas. Oh, Nicholas, yes. I mean, I can kind of agree with what he's saying there, but I think, but there's more, it's a simplistic story, but there's a lot of power to the story, you know? Yeah, that's what I have to say. Good. James Kendrick of Q Network Film Desk said that the movie is a sumptuous visual feast that forgoes narrative drive for the simple beauties of lived existence on the banks of the Ganges River. Oh, God, they love using that word, sumptuous. It is sumptuous. I mean, it is very, very sumptuous. And again, I kind of like what Nicholas said. I do agree that, you know, it's less about plot and it's more about, beauty. Which sounds condescending, but no, I know what you mean, though. It is more about, it's kind of a bit of I say style over substance a lot on this podcast, and it kind of is a movie like that, but it's still great. Michael Atkinson of Village Voice said, Renoir fashioned what might be his sweetest movie about family and one of the post-war year's most serene cinematic statements. It is very serene. It's a very, very serene movie. I mean, I feel like I'm on a boat when I'm watching the movie in the Indian Ocean, you know, by myself, waiting for my lost love to come. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry. No, it's all right. I think I'm seeing someone right now, and I think he actually might propose to me tonight. But anyway, yeah, sorry. I know. I try my best to like not dive into people's relationships on this podcast, but sometimes I can't help it. Donald J. Levitt from Real Talk Movie Reviews said that the movie is so beautifully innocent and innocently beautiful that its peaceful wisdom transcends reality. I agree. It's very peaceful. Yeah, I agree too. David Parkinson from Empire Magazine said the movie is gloriously photographed and provides perceptive insights into contrasting cultures. This melodrama flows with the majesty of the Ganges, but its attitude to race and gender now sit as uncomfortably as some of the performances. That kind of, I thought about that a little bit. Like, is the movie kind of dated with its depiction of, you know, race and gender and women? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, it's more like Melanie, you know, the character of Melanie is the big question mark. I mean, do we think that she's portrayed in a good light? Now, I thought about that, but I felt like, yes, she was. I mean, it's just the culture she's living in, you know? It wasn't okay to be, you were kind of a pariah to be a biracial, you know, in a culture that is that strict and kind of, you know, I hate to use the word cliquey, but a lot of cultures can get cliquey, and oh God, I hope I'm not like offending anyone when I say that. You know what I mean, though. It's strict. I don't know. I think David, what he says is a little bit of a stretch. Yes, I agree a little bit. I mean, but it's the way it was back in the day. I mean, if you were a woman, you had to find your man and get married, and yeah, I would disagree. I don't think that this movie's dated at all, honestly. I mean, first of all, it's set, you know, during British India, excuse me, and so the culture was very different back then. So I don't know. Whenever critics say that, sometimes it's a little bit like they're just trying to look for, you know, a scandal, and they want to make clickbait, and they want their content to be clickbait, and I think it's a bit of rubbish. Yeah, I do too. I also wish Americans said rubbish. It's so much fun to say. I know. Well, you have rubbers, but not no. Actually, you don't even say rubber, do you? Rubber? We say rubber. Oh, I thought that was only like a British phrase. Anyway, continue. Okay, all right. So I have one more critic here. Sam Jordison from Film 4 said, excuse me, some of the politics may not have aged well, but its rich colors and passions burn as bright as the day it was made. again, I don't think it's an inappropriate movie. The politics, I don't really understand that. Maybe we weren't watching it closely enough. Yeah, maybe we weren't. I don't know. Is it really one of the best movies of all time? Margaret Picklechips, do you think this is one of the greatest movies of all time? Oh God, the $100,000 question. I'm going to go and say, yes, I do think it's one of the greatest movies of all time. I think it's very brave for filming in India in the day and capturing Indian culture in such an honest and realistic fashion. Because back in the day, you know, there were a lot of propagandistic films back then, and different cultures and minorities, they weren't properly portrayed and portrayed. Not betrayed. They were betrayed sometimes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, exactly. So I mean, I loved it. I think so. Do you agree? I'm gonna say yes. It's just a really, I think what stood out for me in this film was just, it's beauty for one thing, but also its story is very, very timeless. I love coming of age stories, whether they're from a boy's point of view or a girl's point of view. I just think that they're so, they hit me so emotionally because I remember every second of when I was a kid, the bad times and the good times. And I think that is what really affected me most about this film. We've all been young. We've all had crushes on people that were older than us. I had a million of them, and I used to get mad when people would be like, "You're not going to marry her." And I was like, "No, but I want to. It's going to work." And they were like, "You're 11. It's not going to work." So, I mean, it's I'm right there with you, honestly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is just a very emotional film, and it is sumptuous, and I really am looking forward to rewatching Renoir's other films. And to anyone listening to, definitely watch this movie. It's on the Criterion channel. Definitely check out, You Can Beat Me to It. Well, I've seen the movies, but I don't remember them that well. The Rules of the Game and Grand Illusion. They're Jean Renoir's other more famous movies, in my opinion. They're in black and white. But yeah, I'm going to agree and say that, yes, this was a lovely, lovely, peaceful, serene movie. Oh, is that it? Do I go now? Yes, this is it. Oh God, Matthew. Well, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for coming on, and I would love to go on your podcast again. So again, where can people find you? Oh God, I forgot already. Well, my Instagram, at the beginning of the episode, I said it, but yes, I do have a personal Instagram. It's called, THE, and that's it. Oh, just the? Why? I have no idea. I just thought it would be funny, and I'm sorry, my edible is finally, it took a while, but it's finally kicking in right now, so I don't really know what time to say. Please cut all this out if you don't want it, but thank you, darling. I mean, this really was a delightful time, and come on my podcast anytime, any day. Yes, have me on, please. I've only been on one podcast so far. It was a film podcast. But yes, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. I'm clapping. And yes, everybody go eat your pickles and chips and go check out the river. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, you made it. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here. New episodes drop Tuesdays and Fridays. You can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at I'm Reviewing Here. You can also subscribe on YouTube. New episodes drop there the same day they drop on the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Please leave a review if you'd like. Be mean, be nice, hit on me. I don't really care. Candor really, really is important to me, and, it helps the podcast, too. So I really hope you enjoyed it. This podcast is brought to you especially by Nervous Chuckles. That is my fake production company, because I make people nervously chuckle all the time, because they never know if I'm telling a joke or not, so they're always like, do I laugh? Do I not laugh? Is he serious? Is he insane? Did he get out of the loony? What's going on? So if I made you nervously chuckle, then that means that I did my job, and thank you. There is no funding for this podcast, but if you want to give me money, then, hit me up. DM me. Bye-bye.